How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. The Rangers put together a 4-game win streak after tonight, giving themselves their 10th win of the season. So let's talk about it. Blais is out for the rest of the season, an unfortunate news that we got today. He tore his ACL, so he's going to be out for 6 to 8 months, which is pretty much the rest of this year. So we won't see Blais back on the ice until next season, which is unfortunate. But Hedl was back in the lineup tonight, so an unfortunate 1-for-1 player swap there. The Ottawa game on Saturday is postponed, so the Rangers are back in action Thursday in Toronto, but the Saturday game in Ottawa is postponed, so the Rangers will get a nice break this weekend. Not this weekend because they play Sunday, but they get a couple days between Thursday and Sunday to maybe sneak a practice in. I'm not sure, they'll be on the road, but you know, they get a little extra time. We'll see that Ottawa game postponed to later in the season at some point. Lineup tonight, Kreider, Zibanejad, Gaudreau on the first line. I know the fan base is kind of split on where Gaudreau should fit into this lineup. On the first line, I hope he doesn't stay there, but they did win tonight. Is it going to work long term? I don't know. That's for the fan base to fight over. Second line, Panarin, Strom, Kakko. They're not going to screw with that. Lafreniere, Hedl, Gauthier for the third line, which played well, and Hunt, Rooney, Reeves on the fourth line, which usually gets some offense at some point during the games. Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, Nemeth, Lundqvist, Shesterkin in net. We get into the first period. Kakko has a quick shot. It's a young goalie in net for the Canadiens. Their first two goalies are not playing. We know Carey Price, he's in the Players Assistance Program, and then their backup, or their starter, is also not playing. So Caden Primo in net tonight. With a young goalie, you want to just start getting shots on him right away, and Kakko taking that advice to heart. 2:38, the fourth line gets a nice chance towards the beginning of the game. Reeves has a shot. There's a rebound, and Hunt has a nice chance, so two quick shots on goal from the fourth line. Kreider gets a shot from a wide angle shortly after that, keeping the pressure on. Montreal with a shift of pressure about 4 minutes in, though. But after that, the Rangers would have a good shift of pressure right back. Strome line had a chance about 7.5 minutes in. Kakko tried a wraparound, but it was deflected out by a Montreal player. 8:30, Gaudreau takes a cross-checking penalty, and 20 seconds into that penalty kill, Wideman would take a interference penalty. So it would be 1 minute and 40 seconds of 4-on-4 for these two teams. Fox and Kreider get a great chance from the slot, but nothing would happen in the 20 seconds of power play time that the Rangers would get. Trouba had a big hit on Dvorak. Trouba was very physical tonight. It was nice to see. We can always count on Trouba to be that physical presence on the ice. Little after 14 minutes into the game, Hedl with two great chances, pretty close together. He had a great shift. Giveaway to Lafreniere in the slot, but he couldn't quite put it away. And then at 15:46, Kakko would score his second goal of the season in as many games. So if this is Kakko starting to kind of fire up and get going, then that's great. The more players on this team that can score consistently, the more games the Rangers are going to win, and maybe the deeper into the playoffs they go this year, should they make it. We are all obviously hoping they make it, and if players like Kakko can get going, their chances only go up. Panarin had it in the slot. He waited, and he pulled the goalie out of his net. What's he going to do? Passes it to Kakko. Kakko has an open net. It was an easy goal for him, but I'm sure it was a great confidence-boosting goal for him as well. Just over 1 minute left in the first period. Lafreniere had a good shot in the high slot. Gauthier, very hard-working shift for him to get Lafreniere set up in the slot. In the late seconds, Montreal almost scores, but Nemeth's stick helps save a goal towards the end of that first period. Shot 17-12 in favor of the Rangers. A lot of high-quality chances for the Rangers in that first period. So if they could have kept that momentum going through the second and into the third, maybe the score is a little bit more in favor of the Rangers. They did win. I'm not complaining. A win's a win. Third period was a little bit shaky for the Rangers tonight, but the first period they played pretty well. Second period, early pressure for the Rangers. They were in the offensive zone for the first 2 minutes of the period. So really just cycling the puck, laying on the shots, laying on the pressure, really controlling play. But then at 2:18, Dvorak would score a goal. Shesterkin lost sight of the puck, and he was late to the post. Dvorak came around, tucked it in behind him. Lafreniere with a breakout chance. He tried to force the pass when he probably should have shot. I go back and forth on Lafreniere almost every single game. A lot of pressure and a lot of stakes come with being the first overall pick in a draft. So there is a lot of pressure on him to be really good right away. And so far in his very short and very weird pandemic career, he hasn't really shown that high caliber ability, at least consistently. He had a good game tonight. He had a good game last game. I just wish he was a little bit more confident with the puck. I see him make some plays where he's passing to players that are just not really that open. He's making very safe plays with the puck. He's not really going and trying to create. Of course, some games better than others. Lafreniere, some games he looks great and he looks like the superstar that we need him to be. And then some games he's a little less confident. So I'm hoping Lafreniere finds some superstar level consistency in the coming weeks and months. Shesterkin with a very good save on Drouin. 3:22, Reeves and Pezzetta fight, and it wasn't even close. Reeves just punch, just drops him. And after the fight, Reeves is like getting the crowd fired up. He's putting his hand up to his ear. So poor Pezzetta, he gets his butt kind of kicked by Reeves tonight. And then about 30 seconds later, Kreider would score his, I believe, 12th goal of the season. He is on fire. His 12th goal in 16 games. If he can keep this pace up, he might pass 30 goals for the first time in his career. I think the most goals he's scored in a season is 28. I'm pretty sure. Hopefully this is the season where he passes 30 goals. He has 12 already. He has the rest of the season to score 18. I think he can do it. This might be Kreider's best season of goal scoring in his career. We'll see. Because he is a streaky player. We'll see what happens. Rangers keeping pressure on after the goal, getting more chances, getting more offensive time, cycling the puck, getting those chances. Primo, to his credit, played pretty well tonight for a 22-year-old goalie, and this was his, I think, 8th NHL game ever. He played pretty well. He held his own. 6:53, Miller took a tripping penalty. He went down to stop a partial break, so it's a forgivable penalty to take. Very good penalty kill, so no goal for Montreal. Just after the penalty kill, Fox blocks a goal. Montreal putting pressure on. Fox was on the ice for 2 minutes plus towards the middle of the second period, so he had a very long shift. I'm sure he doesn't mind. 7 minutes left in the period. Panarin almost connects with Kakko, and then Kakko gets another shot, or another look, I should say, shortly after that. So Kakko really hungry for goals now. He's tasted 2 in the past 2 games, and he only wants more, which is great. 3 minutes left. Montreal almost scores as a little scrum around the net. And then shortly after, Strome almost scores from the slot, but Primo made a great save. Montreal with late pressure, but Rangers playing well defensively in that second period. Shots 9-9. So Rangers not out shooting Montreal anymore, but still playing well defensively. Third period. Almost 2 minutes into the third period, Gauthier would score his first goal of the season, and it was a beauty. He worked so hard on that shift. He was behind the net, and he's working hard. He gets the puck out. He comes out front. He picks the pocket of a Montreal player. He gets tripped, and as he's falling down to the ice, he backhands it underneath the arm of Primo and into the back of the net. It was a great goal. He puts the Rangers up 3-1. But 20 sorry, let me get this right. 22 seconds later, Anderson would score a goal to make it 3-2. So Montreal answers very quickly. Dvorak shot, Anderson got the rebound, put it behind Shesterkin. Montreal closes it to a 1-goal gap in 22 seconds. 8:53, Hedl streaks in, and he puts it off the crossbar. If that goal went into the net, maybe the Rangers get that momentum and they score 3 more. You never know, but Hedl hits the crossbar and does not score on his returning game. Halfway through the period, Montreal pushing. Rangers not clicking as well in this third period. I don't know what it was. Maybe Montreal was just playing a little better. It just, things seemed, you could feel the wheels kind of starting to fall off. They didn't. The Rangers held it together. They got through the period. They won the game. But you just didn't feel like they were gelling as well in this third period. They're getting outshot 9-2 halfway through the period. Now, maybe part of that is they're just trying to keep the puck out of the net. They're playing better defensively, but you can also argue that they're playing back on their heels and they're not putting on that offensive pressure that they should always be trying to do, because the best way to win a game is to score goals. First line streaking in, save on Kreider and then a save on Gaudreau, who was alone in the slot. Rangers had a lot of high-quality chances throughout the game tonight, but Primo stood pretty tall. Lindgren was shaken up shortly after that. Armia's follow-through from a shot hit him right in the nose. He went to the bench. They were cleaning out his nose. He was bleeding, but he would come back into the game. 12:14, Weidman would take a tripping penalty. First minute of this power play looked very good. A lot of cycling the puck, a lot of shots. They're really trying to go up 4-2 and really just put this game away. But that wouldn't happen. Hedl had a good play on Toffoli to prevent a shot shortly after that power play ended. Rangers had a 3-on-2 chance with about 2 minutes left. 18:40, Primo goes to the bench. And then Montreal calls a timeout with about 52 seconds left. At 19:32, Gallagher takes a roughing penalty and a 10-minute misconduct. Now, they're ready to drop the puck after Montreal's timeout. And Gaudreau and Gallagher are kind of jawing at each other as the face-off is ready to go. Face-off goes down. Gaudreau and Gallagher are kind of tied up. Gallagher falls to the ice. He gets up and just sucker punches Gaudreau right in the face. Just square in the face, punches him. Gaudreau goes down. Gallagher drops the gloves. He's trying to fight. Things are getting scrappy. So Gallagher gets a roughing penalty, 10-minute misconduct. Rangers get 28 seconds of a power play to end the game. Right after the game's over, Trouba and Anderson fight. Now, the game's over, the puck's in the corner, so players obviously go over to the puck, the horn sounds, and Anderson hits Trouba in the side of the head. Trouba obviously doesn't like that. He's going to stick up for himself. They fight. Game is over. Rangers win. There's still a fight. So, and Trouba's face, he looked like a madman. He was ready to kill someone. But the Rangers pull out the win. Shesterkin makes the saves that he needed to make, and the Rangers win their 4th game in a row for the 2nd time this season. The Rangers had a 4-game win streak earlier in the season during their first road trip of the season. They put together another 4-game win streak tonight. 10th win of the season, points in 8 of the last 9 games. If you're going to start a season well, this is a pretty good way to do it. 10-3-3 in their first 16 games, only dropping points in 3 games so far to start the season. Rangers doing really well, better than I thought they would be at this point in the season. There are still a lot of things they need to fix in order to make this consistent throughout the season, but they are taking steps in the right direction over these past couple games. They're shooting a lot more, which is good to see, and they're getting points in a division that is really hard to get points in. So if they can keep this going, they have a shot at the playoffs and maybe doing some damage in the playoffs as well. As fans, we would obviously love that. Stats. End of the game, shots 34-33 in favor of the Rangers. Face-off, 49.1%. Power play went 0 for 3. Hits 22 to 27 in favor of Montreal. Blocks 23 to 9 in favor of the Rangers. The trivia question of the evening. The Rangers played their first NHL game 95 years ago today, winning 1-0 over the Montreal Maroons. Who scored that one goal in the Rangers' first ever game in the NHL? I didn't know the answer. The announcers did. It was Bill Cook. So there you go. Rangers are back in action Thursday evening in Toronto. Now remember, the last time the Rangers played Toronto was the game that Shesterkin completely stole 2-1. So we'll see what happens this time around. Toronto, also a very, very good team. We'll see if Shesterkin can steal another game for him. We'll see if the Rangers can score more than 2 goals. So Thursday night, they're back in action. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.